Hi, hello, and welcome back to Crick Static Season 3, powered by WannaBuy, an exclusive buyers only requirement listing portal which uses its stupendous AI algorithms to make the matching and the buying process an absolute breeze. A huge shout out to them who not only have their own website www.wannabuy.in, I'll leave the link in the description, but also have their own app which is compatible on both iOS and Android. So if you haven't already downloaded, please do give it a download. And if you're still looking, if you're still slogging on the streets looking for apartments or looking for renting or even for a vehicle, then what are you waiting for? WannaBuy has all your requirements jotted down for you in a user-friendly platform. And thanking them, we begin this episode. A post-match analysis of the Rajasthan Royals versus the Lucknow Super Giants. Another riveting game of cricket that we witnessed. This IPL already barely into around 6 games now, and all the 6 games have been fantastic games of cricket, hasn't it? So now directly I'm going to delve into the analysis. I saw a great quality game of cricket is what I have to say. It was a fantastic game. The way it started off, Yashasvi Jaiswal for the Rajasthan Royals, he played an impeccably, fantastic knock. The way he got into the groove, he looked like he was a man in touch, right? You can say that about a very few certain individuals once they come out to bat, but the way he took off, the way his stride was coming forward, and that bat lift, he was so confident. He almost knew where the bowler was going to bowl, and a little unlucky on his dismissal. Mohsin Khan, he had already gone for a lot of runs, but he came in just a change in the jig of length. It did Yashasvi Jaiswal at mid-on. But anyways, that was a good cameo, and going on in the season, I think Yashasvi Jaiswal is definitely going to be in the top 3 with regard to the most number of runs in the season, the orange cap holder. And Josh Butler, he got off to a good start as always, put his team on the pedestal straight away. Power play exploiter, but again, he fell flat towards the end. Courtesy a good ball from Naveen ul Haq. He changed the angle. And from Naveen ul Haq's action, it's very deceptive to play a face him, isn't it? You go wide of the crease, you're angling your arm inward, but the ball pitches and goes outward. So it invokes a sense of skepticism as a batsman when you're batting. So you really can't blame Butler too much about this dismissal. But he shouldn't have gone fetching for that ball. So anyways, we hope that Butler turned on this season as well. But now coming on to the one man who just continues to impress me, but I think justice was the term that was named that has to be after him, because Sanju Samson, year after year, elegance personified, what an innings, 80 or 51 balls if I'm not mistaken. And the best part about Sanju Samson was that they tried going a little short against Samson, because when the ball was coming shorter off the surface, it was bouncing a little bit more, it was skidding on a lot. We saw that once the Lucknow batters came into bat, and even when Trent bowled. Of course, towards the latter half of the game, it became very hard to bat on. It was hard for the new batter to come in and immediately, get set. But in the first innings, I think the ball was genuinely from that patch where, the Lucknow bowlers were hitting it. It was skidding off the surface. It was coming onto the body a little sharper, a little more well angled. So it became very hard. But Sanju Samson, what a man. He just shimmy down the pitch occasionally so that he can get the length adjusted accordingly to his needs. And I felt that was fantastic of him to do so. And then also the way his leg side game has improved. Sanju Samson, what a player. The first, I think when he got off the mark, I think with a boundary, or at least after scoring 2 runs, he plays a beautiful square cut. Then you think, okay, you know what? They're only going to bowl for the drives now. They want him to get that edge because they had a slip for the longest of time. But then they started going short. It left me a little bewildered. I was thinking, why are you going short against Sanju Samson? He's a player of unparalleled craft on either sides of the wicket. There's just, I think class describes Sanju Samson best. And even the way he led his troops on the field, later, I think the bowling changes were very inspirational. And in fact, I'm very appreciative of the way Sanju went about his captaincy and the way he batted. I think the last over, I think it was a 19.2, and I think when Mohsin Khan bowled a ball, it was not a bad ball at all for the death overs. He bowled it right on a length, it kind of somewhat hit the deck. So, naturally, what would be that shot you would go for? You would either resort to a pull shot, and it's going to be across your wavelength because you have around 4 men back on the leg side, or you might try and cut him square off the wicket, but he had a cover point. What Sanju Samson did, he played an extravagant shot over extra covers and mid-off. He saw that mid-off was inside the circle and he exploited it. He played a wonderful extra cover, backfoot extra cover, drive for 6, and it was just a shot that was it was a shot of the highest pedigree. And I think coming from Sanju Samson, it's no surprise, isn't it? Because time and again he shows that I'm worthy of playing for the Indian team, but you're just constantly overlooking me. But I think this season, if Sanju has a good year, you never know. The T20 World Cup is not eluding Sanju Samson. There still is a good possibility that he might be on that flight to USA and the West Indies. So the possibility is still there, and hopefully Sanju also has a great season. But I'm very happy with the way he's gone about his leadership as well. And now Coming on to the next batting innings that was, terrific, in the Rajasthan Royals. It will go unnoticed. But Riyan Parag, the comeback I've been waiting for. I have a lot of respect for Riyan Parag. A lot of people troll me, in fact, whenever I used to type a status or a story about appreciating Riyan Parag. But the reason I appreciate Riyan Parag is not because Riyan Parag is a great player, but it's because he's constantly trying to improve, but the performances weren't showing. I knew this season would be his breakout season because they finally got him in at the position where he's best at, and that's the number 4 slot. And Riyan Parag capitalized to his maximum potential yesterday. A fantastic knock. I felt, yes, he was dropped. Lucky on an instance. Mohsin Khan will regret that drop now. But I think the way he played the spinners and even a no-look 6 over country was, that just shows he's another bloke you should watch out for in the future. Yeah, Riyan Parag is certainly going to be playing for India one day, mark my words. He's got all the potential. It's just about maximizing the output. And I think Rajasthan Royals, by backing him, they're, it's very, very nice of them to back him. Since 2019, if I'm not wrong, he's been there. And, he's another player who I rate extremely highly. It's glad that his efforts are coming to life now. It's slowly seeing the results. So I think he's only going to improve with time. And I'm very happy for Riyan Parag. And now coming on to Dhruv Jurel, the man who surprised us all in that India versus England Test series, thanks to Mr. Ajit Agarkar, who, despite his limited number of first-class cricket, said that, no, we have to play this, kid. I've seen some potential in him. He brought out the inner beast, in the T20 cricket. In fact, he even said in an interview, he said that, I can't wait for the IPL. I want to hit some sixes. And he did do that, didn't he? And another very striking aspect about the Rajasthan Royals innings was that the back boundary, that's the finding in your third man boundary, was exploited to good advantage by both the batsmen, that is Yashasvi Jaiswal and Sanju Samson. So I feel that, they knew that's the shortest boundary. The pace, it's skidding off the surface, so nothing better than to use the pace. So that was a striking factor in the innings as well. And now transitioning on to the Lucknow Super Giants. Trent Bolt, the spell he bowled, it was very hard to see out, wasn't it? But KL Rahul, he's a class apart. He's someone who should be batting in the middle order ideally if he's looking for his India comeback. But still, what he did, very matured innings, with a lot of temperament. He was very composed throughout the innings. That's what I liked a lot about the way KL Rahul batted. And even his captaincy, very street smart, very cheeky. To bowl an over of Ayush Badoni and to make him concede only 6 runs, that shows how street smart you are. That was his, slipping over inside. That's your cheeky over. You can't get an over from someone else. You don't want to revert back to one of your bowlers who's gone for a lot of runs. So he said, let me bowl the 1 over as a part-timer. These guys are anyways not going to get any runs because I have my fielders back. And another thing about facing a part-timer is there's a lot of mental, a lot of things that run through your mind when you're playing against a part-timer. If I go for the shot and get out, what happens, If I hit him for 2, if I hit him for 2 sixes with all the men back, it's always going to be a risk, isn't it? So there's a lot of, mental turmoil that takes place when you're playing a part-timer. But that was very cheeky captaincy to get that 1 over if Ayush Badoni in the middle, who bowled well, in all honesty. So anyways, I feel KL Rahul was, he was fantastic. And even Nicholas Puran, who I think will finish with the most number of sixes in the Tata IPL 2024. Another prediction I've already given 2. And if you haven't given any of your predictions, please do put it off in my comment section. I will definitely give it a read. And if it comes right, you know what I'll do. I'll immediately give you a shout out on my YouTube video. And if you give the number of runs the batsman is going to score or the number of wickets the bowler is going to take, it will definitely feature on my next Instagram reel as well. But anyways, coming back, I think Nicholas Puran, a scintillating knock. I think a very fighting knock, a very gutsy knock. He used the pitch extremely well. And I think the best part about Nicholas Puran is that he's a fearless cricketer. I think the way he has improved has also been a striking factor. He moves a little bit towards the off stump. So anything on the pads or anything straight on his, in his arc, he's just going to play you off the feet. So he's one player who I rate very highly when it comes to the leg side game. He's got a tremendous pair of wrists. The way it goes from the offside to the leg side, his wrists, and the same wrist can also go through the covers. He's got some flamboyance through the covers as well, through the offside region. So Nicholas Puran played a great knock. And it was nice to see KL Rahul keep, because I think he has understood the fact. I don't think there's been any communication between KL Rahul and the BCCI, but if there has been, I think the communication has been that KL, you've got to keep the wickets if you want to stand a chance for a slot in the T20 World Cup squad. And I was very happy because he did a good job. He did a fairly good job. And as time goes, he's coming back after a gruesome back injury. So as time goes, he's only going to get better at it. So I think KL Rahul has understood that the only spot available in the team is that of wicket keepers. So it was nice of him. It was nice to see him keep. But now coming on to the turning point of the game. Everyone will say the bias is kicking in right now because this player is my wallpaper. I've adored him for more than 5 years now. I've been analyzing every single ball he bowls because there's so much to analyze because he keeps changing it up. He's the only off spinner, in my opinion, who's rejuvenated his bowling style as a whole. Sunil Narine, yes, Sunil Narine is a class apart, but I think what Ravichandran Ashwin, that 18th over gutsy move from Sanju Samson, that's exactly what made me say that was good captaincy. And but what an over from Ravichandran Ashwin, coming in and conceding, I think only 4 runs that over. When I was, if I'm not wrong, when I was watching the game, he was 3 overs, he conceded 31 runs, and you're thinking, what is he doing? This is a very crucial game. How can he concede 31 runs? But once he comes back for his fourth over, he's coming at a very, very imperative stage of the game, comes in and only gives 4 runs. Ravichandran Ashwin, one of the greatest servants of Indian cricket, one of the best tactical minds Indian cricket and world cricket has ever seen. What a spell, that 18th over. He came in, the first ball that he bowled, Marcus Stoinis didn't have any luck on that. He just couldn't get a run. The very next ball, he comes in and bowls the carom ball on the middle stump. He knows that he has a country and a long on and he will be tempted to go for the shot. He did not. He bowled the same carom ball that he bowled to Manas Labuschagne in the India versus Australia series. And I say this because his carom ball will generally extract a more degree of turn or more degree of grip rather. You'll have more grip off the surface. This one rushed through. Somewhat like a flipper for the right arm leg spinner. So just rushed through on him. He went into the shot and it just gripped a tad off the surface and went straight to the hands of Dhruv Jurel, who pouched a brilliant catch. So Ravichandran Ashwin was fantastic. The way he varied his pace through that over, coming in and bowling a few subtle changes, sometimes a little fast on off stump. The ball to Krunal Pandya, his first ball that he missed, he bowled it, he floated it up, asked Krunal Pandya to play the big shot, he missed. He went for the big heave, then when he tried to slog sweep, he got a minute edge which went to the mid-wicket boundary and it was fielded well. And then again, the second ball that he bowled, I think to Nicholas Puran, another fantastic delivery. He didn't let the batsman know what he was going to do. And I think that is one of the biggest positives. Sandeep Sharma is definitely, like our Ravichandran Ashwin said, he's the top 5 bowlers in the IPL, top 5 pacers in the IPL at least, because what a bowler. I mean, he's one of the most underrated gems in the IPL, I would say so. And he bowled another magnificent over. He was, I think, conceding only 28 of your last 5 is commendable. And in T20 cricket, we see, in fact, even in the game versus SRH versus KKR, we saw nearly around 80 runs being conceded. To be able to concede only 28 in that crux stage of a game, when the game was evenly poised for both the sides, it was fantastic. Or even you could say it was 70% towards Lucknow, because you would always back the batting team to come out on the batting paradise and win the game. And it was terrific to see what he did. Havesh Khan executing those nail-biting Yorkers in those nail-biting overs was just terrific to see as well. Because in the last over, coming in and executing a Yorker is never easy. Especially since any pitch, you might still argue that there wasn't dew at all, but there will be a little bit of dew. But the way Avesh Khan handled it was fantastic. I know 27 of 6 balls, never easy to get in a pragmatic realm, but the way he ran in and bowled those Yorkers, the way he executed the wide Yorkers, he didn't give Nicholas Puran a chance at all. So it was a great game of cricket overall. It was permeated by great cricket from both the sides. And I think I'm looking forward to more such cricket. You have another 60 odd games to go, and the IPL only promises to get better and better. So thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Crick Static, Season 3 powered by WannaBuy, an exclusive buyers only listing portal. Follow their Insta handle if you already haven't. And once again, thank you so much for joining me. Signing off, this is the creator and host of the podcast, Tasmai Krishnan. Have a great day.